be connected. We're going to use our stillness practice, our reflection time so that we can be our best self. We're going to be curious so we can be connected. And so, as a leader, one of the traps of efficiency that prevents us from being as connected as is necessary or effective is we think about the company and the department construct instead of thinking about the groups of individuals that do the job. For example, you might say, oh, the DSMs or the CSRs, and you think about a box on an org chart and the what is necessary from that role, instead of thinking about who are the people that do that work. And so to be really mindful, your thoughts, your words, and your actions to be focused on individuals. For example, if there was, a department that you were responsible for, instead of just thinking about the CSRs, you're going to take a moment and you're going to reflect on who those people are. And you're going to see it through the lens of VRI. Each of them has a unique value. They do the same job, but each of them has a uniqueness, the value that they show up with, just like you do. And so you're going to think about, you know what? Sue really is great at this. And you're going to think about what her value is. And then you're going to go and have a conversation, be curious about her view of things, what's relevant to her, what's the impact. You're going to think about VRI versus department to department. So having a conversation with Sue to say, hey, you know what, you're really good at this. Here's what I'm seeing, or here's what I'm struggling with. Ask questions, be curious how she sees it. And you might go to Jim because he's really struggling with something and just say, hey, what's going on? And thinking about how to connect with individuals, not just see it as a department problem or a department opportunity. Because departments, companies don't have souls. It's the collection of the individual souls that are there to do the work inside of these teams and the company. So we're always connecting them back to who do we serve and why does it matter? And you're always connecting into the individuals that do this work. So individual connection. Now, when you're in that individual conversation, we're going to use humility. We don't need to have all the answers. We need to be connected to ask questions and be curious so that they feel safe to have conversations with us. So one of the skills that will transform your brand, your reputation in a really good way is to become a great listener. When I was working with the FranklinCovey organization, I taught a lot of the 7 habits of highly effective people. And habit number 5 is to seek first to understand and then to be understood. And we had assessments that went along with this class that would assess people that took it in each of the 7 habits. And we had aggregate reports that showed thousands, tens of thousands of these surveys that had gone out for individuals. 20 years running, the lowest scoring habit every single year was habit 5. And I could absolutely make the connection between the best listeners had the best results and the best teams. There is a direct correlation because a great listener requires you to be humble, to not feel like you have all the right answers, to be curious. And then to be so connected that you care so much about that person's conversation that you're just leaning in, listening because you care and you want to know their perspective. You know their perspective is important to them, to you, to the overall results. Listening Mm, it's a superpower. And in order to listen well, you have to care. You have to care about the individual. You have to quiet your own mind, keep your nervous system regulated so that you can connect. Because if you go in all stressed out and all frenetic, it's really hard to listen. So that daily stillness practice prepares you each day to go in and be open and be ready to listen humbly with curiosity. And as things happen throughout the day that get you activated, take a walk around the building, go stand outside, get some fresh air so that you can be prepared to listen well in the next meeting or whatever that it is that you interaction that you're going to have, or just running into somebody in the hallway. Becoming a great listener will transform your leadership and your relationships at home, your friends, your family. It's the good stuff.